Howdy everyone, I'm Brady and Ready, and this is the devlog for my Open Dungeon RPG for March 2026. I'm still working on some visuals for a few of these things, so like everything else throughout the series, it is subject to change. Here is what I worked on this last month. When you find an item in the overworld, or when an enemy is looted, you'll be able to switch it with one of the weapons you're currently carrying or send it to storage in town to be saved and sold or switched to later. I worked on the armor system for the game, and made a full simple set. More cloth-like items will display as textures, while something like full plate will be its own model that's drawn over the player. Each armor set has their own boons and busts, with some being able to be negated based on feats the player picks up, or earns. For this next part, I'd like to introduce you to one of the many enemies of these lands, Scuttlestone, an opportunistic omnivore who evolved to look like rocks so they could better surprise and attack prey. I've set it up so that weapons can go into one of a handful of categories. For reference, this dagger is a quick weapon, meaning it is low recovery and low damage, assuming there's no enchantments applied to it. But this weapon that can drop from Scuttlestone, the Brazen Battle, is a large weapon, which will do more damage, apply more knockback, and has a slower recovery time. Weapons can have further variations, and effects, such as setting enemies on fire, reducing an enemy's movement speed, stunning an enemy for a set amount of time, and so many more. You may have noticed that alongside the more impactful particle effects, enemies now drop Ichor. Ichor fills your equipped elixir. When used, a variety of results may occur depending on what you have equipped, such as lighting everything on fire, enemies all turn into docile sheep, healing yourself, and many more. This makes combat more interesting than just attacking when you have the opportunity, and collecting Ichor makes moving around the battlefield more engaging. There's also a bunch of minor stuff to note progress-wise. With these devlogs being monthly, each video isn't guaranteed to show a ton of progress despite stuff behind the scenes coming along. I hope to be able to finish up much more of the core mechanics to combat and engaging with enemies before moving on to NPC behavior and more graphically dense maps. I appreciate you dropping in and seeing what I had to offer for this month. I look forward to seeing you all again in April for the next devlog.